Hello students, in last two lectures we have completed the process of gametogenesis. That means in males spermatogenesis taking place and in females oogenesis taking place. That means there is formation of gamete. Male gamete process formation, it is called as a spermatogenesis, and female gamete formation, that process is called as a oogenesis. That we have completed in last two lectures. In today's lecture, we are going to study how this male gamete and female gametes are fusing together. That is process of fertilization. The fusion of male and female gamete. That process is called as a fertilization, or we can also call it as a syngamy. As you have seen in the first topic in plant reproduction, that fusion of male and female gamete is called as a syngamy. Likewise, here also the fusion of male and female gamete in animals, it is also called as a syngamy. So our today's point of discussion is fertilization or syngamy. So here the definition is given: the process by which male and female gametes are fused together to form zygote. That process is called as a fertilization or syngamy, and in human being the fertilization is taking place inside the female reproductive system or inside the female body, and therefore the fertilization is called as the internal fertilization. As we have studied in 11th chapter, that is Kingdom Animalia, different animals are showing different types of fertilization types, and in that some organisms are showing external fertilization and some organisms are showing internal fertilization. Means fusion of male and female gamete is taking place inside the body or outside the body. When it is taking place outside the body, it is called as a external fertilization, and when it is taking place inside the body, it is called as a internal fertilization. So in human being, here the fusion of male and female gamete is taking place inside the female body, and therefore here the fertilization is internal, and the site of fertilization in the female body, as we have studied the female reproductive system, internal genitalia, in that fallopian tube is the part of this female reproductive system. In that fallopian tube, the fertilization or fusion of male gamete is taking place. So here the fertilization is taking place in the ampulla of fallopian tube. Ampulla region, that fallopian tube is showing ampulla region where the fusion of male and female gamete is taking place. So here ampulla of the fallopian tube, it is the site of fertilization, and in NCERT this site is known as the ampullary isthmic junction. As we have studied, this fallopian tube is joined to the uterus, and that narrow portion, it is called as the isthmus. So here this ampullary isthmic junction of this fallopian tube, it is serving as site of fertilization. So you have to remember both the names, that is ampulla of fallopian tube, and here second for need you have to remember ampullary isthmic junction of the fallopian tube. So at this site fertilization is taking place. So here we have to study how this fertilization taking place, what are the different events related to this fertilization. So here this fertilization involves 4 events. First event is insemination, second movement of sperm towards egg, third entry of sperm into egg, then activation of ovum, and last event it is amphimixis. So here there are different 5 events which are related to this fertilization process or syngamy process. Insemination, transfer of sperm towards the egg, then entry of sperm, that is we can call it as a penetration of ovum, this step, then activation of ovum and amphimixis. One by one we have to study how this fertilization is going to take place. So here is the diagrammatic representation of this fertilization event. This is the first event when after insemination. What is meant by insemination? That after sexual intercourse, the semen, that is seminal fluid, is ejaculated in female genital tract from male body during sexual intercourse. That is called as insemination, and after insemination the sperms are swimming and they are coming towards the egg, and number of sperms are getting around surrounded by this egg. There are number of sperms, as we have seen here. There are number of sperms which are surrounded by this ovum. So here, after the sperm penetrate the secondary oocyte, the oocyte completes meiosis second and forming the ovum and second polar body. As we have studied, the after ovulation in female body, the ovum or egg which is coming out of the Graafian follicle, it is actually a secondary oocyte which is arrested its meiotic second division at the metaphase second. When sperm entry takes place in the female body and when the sperm is penetrating the egg or penetrating the secondary oocyte, after penetration, this secondary oocyte completes meiosis second and there is formation of ovum, that is female gamete, and second polar body. And when the sperm is getting entered into the egg, the sperm nucleus and the ovum nucleus or egg nucleus, these are the two pronuclei, male pronucleus and female pronucleus, they are formed and these pronuclei are coming together, they are approaching each other and there is formation of spindle fibers between them and both nuclei are getting mixed with each other. So it is very simple process, we have to study in the details events here. So first event is the insemination here. Discharge of semen into the vagina at the time of sexual intercourse, it is called as the insemination. While having sexual intercourse, the male body, it ejaculates the semen or seminal fluid into the female genital tract. That process or that event is called as the insemination. We have to study for NCERT book from fertilization can only occur if the ovum and sperms are transported simultaneously to the ampullary ischemic junction. Means when there is ovulation is taking place in the female body, at that time the sperm may get entered into the body and simultaneously the ovum and sperms are coming together at the ampullary ischemic junction, then and then only fertilization is occurring. Hence, here we can observe this is the reason that all populations does not leading into the fertilization and pregnancy, and therefore all copulations, that is all sexual intercourses, are not having or not they are leading to pregnancy or the fertilization. म्हणजे ज्या वेळेला सेक्शुअल इंटरकोर्स होतो त्यावेळेलाच ओव्ह्युलेशन सुद्धा झालेलं असलं पाहिजे फिमेल बॉडीमध्ये आणि ओव्ह्युलेशन झाल्यानंतर ओव्हम त्या फॅलोपियन ट्यूबमधनं अँप्युलर इस्टमी जंक्शनमध्ये येईल आणि त्याच वेळेला जर फिमेल बॉडीमध्ये स्पर्मची एंट्री झाली असेल तर ते स्पर्मसुद्धा पोहत पोहत कुठे जाणार आहेत अँप्युलर इस्टमी जंक्शनमध्ये जाणार आहेत आणि ते जर सायमल्टेनियसली आले दोन्ही तरच फर्टिलायझेशन होणार आहे. ओव्ह्युलेशन आदल्या दिवशी झालेलं आहे आणि स्पर्मची एंट्री दुसऱ्या दिवशी झालेली आहे तर फर्टिलायझेशन होणार नाही, किंवा अगोदर स्पर्मची एंट्री झालेली आहे आदल्या दिवशी आणि दुसऱ्या दिवशी ओव्ह्युलेशन झालं तरीसुद्धा तिथं फर्टिलायझेशन होणार नाही. आणि याच्यामुळेच सगळ्याच सेक्शुअल इंटरकोर्समुळे आपल्याला फर्टिलायझेशन झालेलं बघायला मिळत नाही किंवा प्रेग्नन्सी कन्सीव्ह झालेली बघायला मिळत नाही. सो वी हॅव टू रिमेंबर हिअर fertilization is occurring when the ovum and sperms are coming simultaneously to the ampullary ischemic junction. That we have to remember. Okay. So here, what is the tract of the sperm in the female genital tract? That we have to remember also. So here, the vagina is the female reproductive internal genitalia which receives the sperms during the sexual intercourse. Means here the vagina part is receiving the sperms during sexual intercourse and then these sperms are transferred to cervix. That is the mouth of uterus or the opening to the uterus, and from cervix to the uterus, and from uterus they are transferred to ampulla or ampullary ischemic junction where the ovum and sperms are fusing together. That means they are fertilizing and they are forming zygote or embryo. So here this is the path of sperm in female reproductive tract: vagina, cervix, uterus, and then ampulla or ampullary ischemic junction. For NEET exam, this point is important. Okay. Now, second event related to this fertilization here: movement of sperm towards the egg. When the sperms are getting entered into the female body, into the vagina, they have to transfer from that vagina region towards the fallopian tube, that is towards the ampullary ischemic junction of the fallopian tube. जे ज्या वेळेला स्पर्म वजायनामध्ये एंटर होतात सेक्शुअल इंटरकोर्सच्या वेळेला, त्यावेळेला त्या स्पर्मला पोहत पोहत कुठंपर्यंत जावं लागतं, फॅलोपियन ट्यूबमधल्या अँप्युलरी इस्थमिक जंक्शनपर्यंत जावं लागतं. आणि ही जी प्रोसेस आहे ह्या इव्हेंटला इथं काय म्हणलेलं आहे, ट्रान्सफर ऑफ स्पर्म ऑर मुवमेंट ऑफ स्पर्म टुवर्ड्स दी एग. व्हॉट हॅपन्स इन दिस इव्हेंट हिअर, इट इन्व्हॉल्व्स capacitation of sperm reaching the vagina. When the sperms are entered into the female genital tract, they have to become functional and they have to become more active or more motile than in the male body. म्हणजे ज्या वेळेला मेल बॉडीमध्ये ते स्पर्म्स असतात त्यावेळेला त्यांची मॅच्युरिटी झालेली जरी असली तरी अजून जास्त ॲक्टिव्हिटी, अजून जास्त फंक्शनल ॲबिलिटी आणि अजून जास्त मोटिलिटी ही त्यांना स्पर्मला फिमेल जेनायटल ट्रॅकमध्ये एंट्री झाल्यानंतर मिळत असते. आणि त्या प्रोसेसला इथं काय म्हणलेलं आहे, कपॅसिटेशन म्हणलेलं आहे, विच इज टेकिंग प्लेस इनसाइड द फिमेल जेनायटल ट्रॅक. दॅट वी हॅव टू रिमेंबर हिअर. सो हिअर as many as 50% sperms are demotilized or broken or destroyed. As we have seen, there are 200 to 300 million sperms are getting entered through ejaculation. Out of that, 50% sperms are getting destroyed or 50% are getting demotilized or may get broken or destroyed. And remaining sperms undergo here capacitation, and this capacitation requires 5 to 6 hours in the female genital tract. What happens here during capacitation? The acrosome membrane becomes thin and calcium enters into the sperm and their tails begin to show rapid whiplash movement. So what happens during this capacitation? The acrosome जो आहे त्याचा हेडच्या वरती acrosome असतो, आपण स्पर्म स्ट्रक्चर बघितलेला आहे. That acrosome becomes very thin and calcium ions are getting entered into the sperm body, and the tail of the sperm, it is showing very fast movement, very faster movement, and that movement is called as a whiplash movement. Because as they are showing very fast movement, they are having rapid motility and they are very fastly transferred towards the egg. म्हणजे ज्या पद्धतीने त्यांच्या शेपटीमध्ये फास्टली हालचाल होईल तसंच ते काय करणार आहेत, त्या ओव्हमपर्यंत जाऊन लवकरात लवकर पोहोचणार आहेत. आणि ती मोटिलिटी त्यांच्यामध्ये येण्यासाठी याच्यामध्ये काही बदल होतात आणि ते बदल काय होतात तर ॲक्रोसोम थिन होतो आणि कॅल्शियमची एंट्री होते. अँड दिस प्रोसेस इज कॉल्ड ॲज अ कपॅसिटेशन विच इज कॅरीड इन टू दी फिमेल जेनायटल ट्रॅक्ट. दॅट वी हॅव टू रिमेंबर. सो हिअर as a result of capacitation, sperms become extra active and they are begin to start moving upwards from vagina to the uterus and then to the oviduct. So after capacitation, sperms are become very active, they are become very motile and they are moving away from the vagina towards the uterus and from uterus towards the fallopian tube, that is ampullary ischemic junction. So here in this event capacitation occurs and due to capacitation the sperms are moving towards the egg. That we have to remember here. So here for this process, for the movement of the sperm, here the role of prostaglandins is very much important. So here the prostaglandins activate the sperms and these vestibular secretions which is secreted by the vestibular gland in the female body, that also responsible for the movement of sperm or the motility of the sperm. So here prostaglandins and vestibular secretion are both involved for the movement of the sperm towards the egg, and sperm reach up to the ampulla as a result of their own swimming and partly by contraction of uterus and fallopian tube simultaneously by oxytocin of the female. So here what happens, the sperms are swimming on their own, म्हणजे स्वतःच ते हालचाल करत स्विम करत करत त्या एकपर्यंत पोहोचण्यासाठी त्यांना मदत होते त्यांच्या स्विमिंगमुळं. त्याच्याचबरोबर आणखीन कशाची मदत इथे केली जाते तर जे युटेरस असतो, जे गर्भाशय असतं फिमेल बॉडीमधले, त्या युटेरसमध्ये सुद्धा कॉन्ट्रॅक्शन रिलॅक्सेशन होत असतं की ज्याच्यामुळं काय केलं जातं, स्पर्मला मोटिलिटी जास्त प्रमाणामध्ये मिळण्यासाठी मदत होते. आणि त्याच पद्धतीनं फिमेल जेनायटल ट्रॅकमध्ये ऑक्सिटोसिन नावाचं हार्मोनिक सिक्रेट केलं जातं आणि त्या ऑक्सिटोसिनमुळे सुद्धा तिथं कॉन्ट्रॅक्शन रिलॅक्सेशन होत राहतं त्या फिमेल जेनायटल ट्रॅकचं, की त्याच्यामुळं त्यांच्या पोहण्याला काय होतं, वेग मिळतो, त्यांच्या पोहण्याला गती मिळते. अँड ड्यू टू दॅट द स्पर्म्स आर रिचिंग टुवर्ड्स दी एग. सो हिअर the swimming and the prostaglandins, vestibular secretion and oxytocin, these all factors are responsible for faster movement of the sperm towards the egg. Okay, so here after capacitation the sperms may reach ampulla within 5 minutes. So after capacitation within 5 minutes the sperms are reaching towards the egg, and sperms can remain viable for 24 to 48 hours and ovum for about 24 hours. As we have seen, the sperms are viable up to 72 hours, but they can fertilize the egg in first 12 to 14 hours. So here their viability is 24 to 48 hours and ovum is remain viable up to 24 hours. म्हणजे फक्त 24 तासच ते दोघंही काय करू शकतात, जिवंत राहू शकतात म्हणा किंवा ॲक्टिव्ह कंडिशनमध्ये राहू शकतात. आणि त्यावेळेला जर त्या दोघांचं फ्युजन झालं स्पर्म आणि ओव्हमचं तरच फर्टिलायझेशन होणार आहे, नाहीतर फर्टिलायझेशन होणार नाही. सगळेच नंतर काय केले जातात, डिग्रेड केले जातात किंवा डिनेचर केले जातात. ओके, सो हियर फ्रॉम दिस पॉईंट वी हॅव वन क्वेश्चन विच इज आस्क्ड इन 2017. कपॅसिटेशन ऑकर्स इन, कपॅसिटेशन कुठं घडलं जातं, रेटेटेस्टिस, epididymis, vas deferens, female reproductive tract. As we have just seen, capacitation means the sperms become more active, more motile, and that capacitation is carried out in the female genital tract. So capacitation definition is given here. It is a process where the spermatozoa sperms acquire the capacity to fertilize the egg. Means they are having more activity, more swimming ability, reaching towards the egg, and they can having ability to fertilize the egg. They have capacity to fertilize the egg, and that process is called as a capacitation, which is carried into the female genital tract. That we have to remember. Okay, now here the again one question is there. Fertilization in humans is practically feasible only if, म्हणजे फर्टिलायझेशन कधी प्रॅक्टिकली फिजिबल होऊ शकतं, प्रॅक्टिकली कधी पॉसिबल आहे फर्टिलायझेशन होणं, असा प्रश्न विचारलेला आहे. द ओव्हम अँड स्पर्म्स ट्रान्सपोर्टेड सायमल्टेनियसली टू अँपिलरी इस्थमिक जंक्शन ऑफ द फॅलोपियन ट्यूब. दिस इज द फर्स्ट ऑप्शन. द ओव्हम अँड स्पर्म्स आर ट्रान्सपोर्टेड सायमल्टेनियसली टू अँपिलरी इस्थमिक जंक्शन ऑफ द सर्विक्स. द सेकंड ऑप्शन. The sperms are transported into the cervix within 48 hours of the release of the ovum in the uterus. And last option, the sperms are transported into vagina just after the release of ovum in the fallopian tube. असे 4 ऑप्शन दिलेले आहेत. तर ह्या 4 पर्यायांपैकी कुठल्या पर्यायाच्या मध्ये आपल्याला फर्टिलायझेशन पॉसिबल आहे असं विचारलेलं आहे. बघा इथं आपल्याला उत्तर ओळखता येते का. सो हियर the first option, the ovum and sperms are transported simultaneously to the ampullary ischemic junction of the fallopian tube. It is the correct answer, but remaining answers as we have seen here, the ovum and sperms transferred simultaneously to ampullary ischemic junction of the cervix म्हणलेला आहे. cervixचा पार्ट नाही आहे, कशाचा पार्ट आहे, fallopian tubeचा, म्हणून हे उत्तर चुकीचं आहे. आणि इथं काय म्हणलेलं आहे, the sperms are transported into cervix within 48 hours of the release of the ovum. ओव्हम रिलीज झाल्यानंतर 48 तासानंतर स्पर्मची एंट्री होणार आहे. सायमल्टेनियस झालं तरच होणार आहे, त्यामुळे हे सुद्धा चुकीचं आहे. त्याच पद्धतीने इथं जे सांगितलेलं आहे की स्पर्म्स आर ट्रान्सपोर्टेड इनटू वजायना जस्ट आफ्टर द ट्रान्सफर ऑफ ओव्हम इनटू द फॅलोपियन ट्यूब. फॅलोपियन ट्यूबमध्ये ओव्हम आल्यानंतर स्पर्मची एंट्री झाली तरीसुद्धा फर्टिलायझेशन होणार नाही. एकाच वेळेला काय झालं पाहिजे, ओव्हम पण त्या ओव्हरीमधून बाहेर आला पाहिजे अँप्युलरी जंक्शनपर्यंत, आणि त्याच वेळेला स्पर्मची एंट्री फिमेल बॉडीमध्ये झाली पाहिजे आणि स्पर्मसुद्धा पोहत पोहत त्या अँप्युलरी इस्मिक जंक्शनपर्यंत गेले पाहिजे, तरच त्याचं फर्टिलायझेशन होणार आहे, अदरवाईज होणार नाही. सो हियर फर्स्ट ऑप्शन इज दी करेक्ट आन्सर. ओके, नाउ थर्ड इव्हेंट हियर, दी एंट्री ऑफ स्पर्म इनटू दी एग, दॅट मीन्स पेनिट्रेशन ऑफ स्पर्म इनटू दी एग. म्हणजे स्पर्म घुसतो आणि त्या सेकंडरी ओसाइटमध्ये किंवा एगमध्ये तो जातो. ती स्टेप इथे दिलेली आहे. Out of 200 to 400 million sperms, only few hundred sperms are reaching to the egg. म्हणजे 200 ते 300 मिलियन स्पर्मपैकी फक्त काही 100 स्पर्म्स काय होतात, त्या ओव्हमपर्यंत किंवा एगपर्यंत जाण्यामध्ये यशस्वी होतात. बाकीचे सगळे वाटेमध्ये काय केले जातात, डिस्ट्रॉय केले जातात. फक्त काही 100 म्हणजे 100 असतील, 200 असतील, 300 असतील, तेवढेच स्पर्म काय होतात त्या ओव्हमपर्यंत पोचले जातात. मग काय होतं, बट ओनली अ सिंगल स्पर्म फर्टिलायझेस द ओव्हम. दो few hundreds of sperms are reaching towards the egg, only one sperm is responsible for the fertilization, means only one sperm is getting entered into the ovum. That we have to remember here. Acrosome of the sperm releases some enzymes which are called as lysins, hyaluronidase and corona penetrating enzymes. As we know, the ovum, it is surrounded by three layers. Innermost is the vitelline membrane. Around vitelline membrane, non-cellular zona pellucida is there, and around zona pellucida, corona radiata is there. So these three layers, firstly broken by the sperm, and for that the acrosome region of the sperm, it is secreting the three enzymes here: lysine, hyaluronidase and corona penetrating enzymes. So here, with the help of corona penetrating enzyme, the corona radiata cells, which is the outermost covering of the secondary oocyte, it is getting degenerated. Second layer here is the zona pellucida. Zona pellucida, which is acellular. That zona pellucida layer is broken or destroyed by this hyaluronidase enzyme, and the vitelline membrane, it is by lysine. So here, with the help of these three enzymes, the sperm penetrates the egg. So what happens here, you see, they separate and dissolve the cells of corona radiata. So the sperm head passes through the zona pellucida of the egg. Due to this secretion of these enzymes by the acrosome, the cells of the corona radiata are getting dissolved, and the sperm head is reaching towards the zona pellucida of the egg. And then zona pellucida has fertilizing receptor proteins, that is ZP3 and ZP2. झोना पेल्युसिडा प्रोटीन्स म्हणलेला आहे त्याला, ZP3 आणि ZP2. These fertilizing proteins binds to specific acid protein which is called as the anti-fertilizing of the sperm. What happens, you see here, one specific protein fertilizing is secreted by this zona pellucida layer of the egg, and specific acid protein, that is called as the anti-fertilizing, which is secreted by the sperm. So here sperm secrete anti-fertilizing and egg, zona pellucida of the egg, secretes fertilizing, and these anti-fertilizing and fertilizings are combined together and they are opposite to each other. So there the wall of the egg is broken with the help of this anti-fertilizing and fertilizing reaction. So here fertilizing anti-fertilizing interaction takes place, and acrosome releases lytic enzymes acrosin or zona lysine to digest the cells of zona pellucida at the point of contact. So zona pellucida layer is broken with the help of this acrosin or zona lysine enzyme which is secreted by the acrosome, and there is a digestion of the zona pellucida layer at the point of contact. म्हणजे ज्या ठिकाणी समजा ही एग आहे आणि हा स्पर्म आहे, ज्या ठिकाणी स्पर्मचा कॉन्टॅक्ट झालेला आहे या ठिकाणचा हा जो रिजन आहे, याच रिजनमध्ये ॲक्रोसोमच्या एन्झाईमची काय बघायला मिळते, आपल्याला ॲक्शन बघायला मिळते. अगोदर कोरोना रेडिएटर लेअर ब्रेक होते, स्पर्म कुठंपर्यंत पोहोचला जातो, झोना पेल्युसिडा लेअरपर्यंत पोहोचला जातो, आणि नंतर झोना लायसिन किंवा ॲक्रोसिन नावाचं एन्झाईम सिक्रेट केलं जातं की त्याच्यामुळे झोना पेल्युसिडा लेअरसुद्धा काय केलं जातं, तिथला डायजेस्ट केलं जातं. सो thus the sperm penetrates the vitelline membrane and plasma membrane of the both cells dissolve at the point of contact. So due to the digestion of the zona pellucida layer, the sperm getting contact with the vitelline membrane, that means the plasma membrane of the egg, and meanwhile the plasma membrane of the sperm, these both are contacting with each other at that point, and the sperm nucleus and the centrioles enter into the egg while the other parts remain outside. And when both the plasma membranes are combined with each other, means the plasma membrane of the egg or ovum and the plasma membrane of the sperm are getting attached with each other, getting joined with each other, at that time only the sperm head, which is having nucleus and the centrioles, these parts are getting entered into the ovum or egg, and remaining parts are left outside the ovum or egg. So here the vitelline membrane gets converted into fertilization membrane to avoid polyspermy. When the head region of the sperm is getting entered into the ovum or egg, the vitelline membrane, it is getting converted into fertilization membrane and it avoids the entry of other sperms. When one sperm is penetrating the ovum, one sperm is getting attached to the wall of the egg, that is corona radiata and then zona pellucida. Remaining all sperms are not allowed to enter, and therefore the vitelline membrane is getting converted into the fertilization membrane. That you have to remember. So here you can see this is the ovum and this is the sperm, this is the head and this is the long tail. The sperm is getting entered into the ovum. Firstly, they are dissolving the corona radiata layer around the ovum or egg, and then they are digesting the zona pellucida layer and they are reaching to the vitelline membrane, and after crossing the vitelline membrane, the sperm head, that is nucleus and centriole, are getting entered into the egg, and this vitelline membrane surrounding this egg, it is converted into fertilization membrane. Okay, now the next step here, activation of ovum. The ovum before fertilization was at metaphase second stage. As we have seen, when ovulation is taking place, the ovum or egg, it is called as a secondary oocyte, which is arrested at the metaphase second stage. म्हणजे meiosis second तिथे complete झालेली असत नाही. When there is entry of sperm inside the ovum, or we can call it as inside the secondary oocyte, then there is completion of meiosis second. So here, after penetration of sperm head to the vitelline membrane of egg, it gets activated and completes meiosis second. After penetration of sperm into the vitelline membrane, the meiosis second is completed and actually functional female gamete, that is ovum or egg, is formed and second polar body is formed, as we have studied in the oogenesis process. So here now the ovum is acting as a female pronucleus, and at this stage it is called as a true ovum or egg. When completion of meiosis second takes place, then we can call it as a ovum or egg. Before that female gamete, it is called as a secondary oocyte. ज्या वेळेला completion होतं meiosis second, त्याच वेळेला त्याला काय म्हटलं जातं, female gamete, ovum or egg म्हटलं जातं. And here the last event, amphimixis. Head of sperm get detached from the middle piece and the sperm nucleus, it is now called as a male pronucleus. So after penetration of the sperm head into this ovum or egg, what happens? The middle piece is getting attached up, and this male nucleus, it is called as a male pronucleus, and then the male and female pronuclei are coming together and they are mixing together. The chromosomes are getting mixed up, and this process is called as a amphimixis, or we can call it as a karyogamy. The chromosomes of the sperm pronucleus and the chromosomes of the egg pronucleus or ovum pronucleus are combined together, and there is amphimixis. Amphi means both and mixis means mixing. दोघांचे क्रोमोझोम काय केले जातात, एकमेकांच्या मध्ये मिक्स केले जातात आणि क्रोमोझोम मिक्स केले जातात म्हणून त्याला कॅरिओगॅमी म्हटलं जातं. कॅरिओन म्हणजे न्यूक्लियस आणि गॅमी म्हणजे फ्युजन. दोन न्यूक्लियाचे इथं फ्युजन केले जातं, मेल न्यूक्लियस आणि फिमेल प्रोन्यूक्लियस. सो हियर द प्रोसेस ऑफ amphimixis is completed. The ovum is now diploid. As we have seen, sperm is having haploid nucleus and ovum is having haploid nucleus. These both haploid nuclei are coming together and they are forming the diploid structure, which is called as a zygote. And here zygote is the first cell of new life. So first cell of the new life, that is zygote, is just formed at the end of this fertilization process. Okay, now related to that, questions are there. Extrusion of second polar body from egg nucleus occurs. What happens here? Question is, extrusion of second polar body means formation of second polar body occurs. When it occurs? That four options are here. Simultaneously with first cleavage, after entry of sperm, but before fertilization, after fertilization, and before entry of sperm into the ovum. सेकंड पोलर बॉडी कधी तयार होते असा प्रश्न विचारलेला आहे. बघा इथे चार ऑप्शन्स आहेत. सायमल्टेनियसली विथ फर्स्ट क्लिवेज हा ऑप्शन नाही आहे. आफ्टर एंट्री ऑफ स्पर्म बट बिफोर फर्टिलायझेशन अँड आफ्टर फर्टिलायझेशन. बिफोर एंट्री ऑफ स्पर्म इंटू दी ओव्हम हाही ऑप्शन नाही. ह्या दोन्हीमधलं काय येईल उत्तर? आफ्टर एंट्री ऑफ स्पर्म बट बिफोर फर्टिलायझेशन, म्हणजे स्पर्मची एंट्री झाल्यानंतर पण फर्टिलायझेशन होण्याच्या अगोदर आपल्याला हे एक्सक्लुशन ऑफ पोलर बॉडी झालेलं बघायला मिळतं. त्यामुळे हे त्याचं करेक्ट आन्सर आहे. ओके. नाउ सेकंड क्वेश्चन. इन ह्युमन फिमेल्स मियोसिस सेकंड इज नॉट कम्प्लिटेड अंटिल. मियोसिस सेकंड कधीपर्यंत कंप्लीट होत नाही असं विचारलेलं आहे. प्युबर्टी, फर्टिलायझेशन, युटेराइन इम्प्लांटेशन आणि बर्थ त्यापैकी काय ऑप्शन असेल? इन ह्युमन फिमेल्स मियोसिस सेकंड इज नॉट कम्प्लिटेड अंटिल, as we have studied, the meiosis second process is arrested or stopped during ovulation, and after fertilization that meiosis second is completed. So here option is the fertilization. Okay. Now next question. Fertilizins are emitted by immature eggs, mature eggs, sperms and polar bodies. As we have seen in this lecture, fertilizin and antifertilizin reaction takes place. This fertilizin is secreted by, yes, answer is mature eggs. मॅच्युअर एग कडून काय केलं जातं? फर्टिलायझिंग सिक्रेट केलं जातं. आणि अँटी फर्टिलायझिंग जे आहे ते स्पर्म कडून सिक्रेट केलं जातं. ह्या दोघांच्याकडून काहीही सिक्रेट केलं जात नाही. ओके. सो हिअर द लास्ट पॉइंट ऑफ दिस lecture, that is significance of this fertilization. As we have studied different steps of the fertilization, this fertilization is showing different significance. The first significance is entry of sperm stimulates secondary oocyte to complete the meiosis second, that is maturation division second, and there is formation of functional female gamete, ovum or egg. Without fertilization there is no completion of this meiosis second division or maturation division. So here the first significance, here the sperm's entry is stimulated and there is formation of or completion of the meiosis second. Next, it introduces centrioles which are missing in the ovum. As we have seen the structure of sperm and the structure of ovum, sperms are showing presence of centriole but the ovums are not showing centriole, and without centriole meiosis second completion is not possible. So for the completion of meiosis second in the ovum, the centrioles are required, and these centrioles are here given or introduced by this fertilization from the sperm. So this is the significance. Fertilization restores the diploid chromosome number in the zygote. Without fertilization the male and female gametes are not fused, and without fusion there is no formation of the zygote and there is no diploid cell formation. So here restoring diploid number due to this fertilization. Then it combines the characteristics of the parents and it is leading to the variation and significance in the evolution. As we have seen the characteristics of the male and characteristics of the female, the chromosomes are combined together and therefore there is a mixing of characteristics of the mother and father, and there is formation of new character in their children, and therefore here this fertilization is responsible for variation and it is significant in evolution. And last here, the sex of offspring is determined, means when the sperm is having X chromosome then the resulting child will be female, and if the sperm is having Y chromosome the resulting offspring will be male. As this point we have to study in the next topic, sex determination in human, but still one point I am telling you, the sex chromosomes are present in human being as X and Y. The females are having both X chromosome and the males are having X and Y chromosome. So in female all the gametes are formed having X chromosome, but in males 50% sperms are having X chromosome and 50% are having Y chromosome. And if X containing sperm is getting fertilized with the female gamete, there is both X chromosomes are present, the resulting child will be female. म्हणजे दोन X chromosome एकत्र आले, मेल मध्ये X आणि Y असतं, फिमेल मध्ये Xच असतं, त्यामुळे मेल मधला जर X कंटेनिंग स्पर्म गेला तर तिथं दोन X तयार होणार त्या ऑफस्प्रिंग मध्ये आणि ती मुलगी होणार, आणि जर Y कंटेनिंग स्पर्म गेला तर X आणि Y कॉम्बिनेशन होईल आणि तिथं रिझल्टिंग जो ऑफस्प्रिंग होणार आहे तो मुलगा असणार आहे. सो हिअर which type of sperm is fertilizing the egg, that determines the sex of the child. That we have to remember. So here these are the different significance of this fertilization. So here in today's lecture we have completed the process of fertilization or syngamy. You have to study or you have to observe this lecture very carefully. Each and every point is very much important for the NEET exam. So you study very carefully. If you have any doubt on this point, you may ask on my WhatsApp number. So I am stopping here. The next point, that is embryonic development, we will see in the next lecture. Till then, thank you.